Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
So, I'm sorry, I missed your name?
My name is Kanal Aurora. Yeah.
Can you say that again?
Kanal Aurora.
Kanal Aurora? Is that one?
It's two names.
Okay.
Kanal space Aurora.
Kanal space Aurora. No, you don't. The space is not your middle name.
No,
though,
it's
right?
not. That
okay.
would be. It would be great if it was.
That's a great name, by the way.
What, space?
No, Kanal Aurora.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a pretty solid name. I've been stuck with it for 26 years. I'm doing all right so far.
26, really? You don't look a day over 19.
Are you trying to get me?
I do. I already got you on the show. I don't need to butter you up anything.
You
okay,
don't.
so Kanal Aurora, what it is that you are doing here?
Well, I'm part of the GFQ network, Guys from Queens network, which is we're an online radio network. We got 9 different shows and 16 staff members. We do a bunch of broadcasting, a variety of different shows.
Wow.
Me personally, I do stand up in and around New York City, New York, and New York City, Manhattan, and then Brooklyn, Queens, wherever.
How's that working for you?
Going pretty well. I've been doing it for 2 years now, and it's 2 years in the stand-up game is very young, but I'm enjoying it. I just love stand-up altogether, and there's a lot of great talent out there, and I'm pretty happy to throw my name into the ring with those people.
So are you doing a lot of your, let's say, routines or gags online? Oh, not in real life, but YouTube, a blog, etc.?
I've actually, in terms of YouTube, my YouTube clips that are usually from the show with the Andrew Zarian show, I do it through them. But in terms of actual stand-up, I have videos that I've done, I have sets that I've done, but I don't keep them on there yet because it's just right now I'd like to set up my site first, and I just did a show 2 weeks ago where it was 70 people, and it was a pretty solid audience, great response, and I crushed. So it was just rare, I was just yes, this is good. And you want to put a good video. I think if you're a stand-up, you don't want to have a video where it's just you telling jokes
and nobody responds. No. I had the same problem. Speaking in Germany.
Yeah.
And I'm very American, so using American humor in front of a German audience does not work. I mean, you couldn't even hear crickets chirp. There's nothing.
It's just people filing their nails.
Pretty much. Yeah, no, they wouldn't even do it. They were so bored they couldn't even do that. It was seriously stoic.
And you could give the greatest presentation ever, and it's just this is amazing, such a job well done. But when there's no response, no one's actually acting at all. It almost seems like you're talking in your bathroom.
Right.
You're I don't want to put this up.
Well, it's being broadcast in my bathroom, actually.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's when I walked over. I'm this seems like it's going to be in some guy's bathroom or basement. I'm hoping bathroom.
Pretty much.
And I'm really happy.
And that's exactly what's happening
because it's different from what I'm used to. Some guy in the basement. No.
Really that bad?
No. I mean, it's getting around. I'm doing a pretty different sets all over the place. I do some road work as well. I've gone to Crisfield, Maryland. I don't know if you're familiar with that area.
Not quite.
Let's put it this way. There's water. I'm standing in a restaurant where I'm doing a show, and you look through the front window, there's water. You look through the back window, you could see water.
Okay.
That narrow strip of land. And I get on stage, I was the MC for the evening. And I'm hey, Crisfield, Maryland, how's it going? This one woman in the back, there's no response except this one woman. And this is a minute later. I'm just waiting to see if they're going to clap. This one woman screams from the back, one way in, one way out. And I'm all right, that set the tone of the show real quick. So,
Sounds like Newfoundland.
Yeah, it's scary stuff altogether.
So you always been in New York primarily? Or?
Yeah, I'm actually from Queens. I started doing stand-up in Long Island, and it was interesting because Long Island is the stand-up scene it wavers. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad. I knew there was this one time where I knew that I had to leave Long Island because I was driving into the city, and I did this thing called where we do 3 comics, 3 mics one day. So we'd go to Brooklyn, we'd do 2 mics there, and then shoot out to Huntington. In total, it's 100 miles of driving a day. We do that every Sunday.
Wow.
And I get there to this one comedy spot, and there's not one, but 2 Rodney Dangerfield impersonators. And this is where I'm just this is what my life has come down to.
Wow.
And,
So I take it you don't do impersonations?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, I mean, I admire the people who do, but it's not my crap. I don't do I don't do the race humor either. That's not my thing either. Mine's just my life. Everyone's life has humor to it.
So you don't make fun of people who do marathons? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no, I don't do
the race.
No, I don't.
Yeah, was that too obscure?
Yeah, I was just
okay,
once
I can see where you're going with that.
So it's
like I said, I can be okay. So. So you decided then to make a shift?
Yeah, I had to make the shift to New York City. And New York City is just a great place to do comedy. You can get up, 15, 17 times a week at open mics, and so it's great. I'm able to get up a lot of times and just really hone my craft. And, with, I've seen a lot of speakers, and I've seen what they've done here, and they do a lot of great stuff. But it's the challenge is making every word count. And that's what stand-up is. Like, you have a very limited amount of audience sometimes, and sometimes you have great amounts of audience, but it's about their attention span, which is so little.
Oh, yeah. So if you had tips to share with, let's say, the audience at large and getting started in stand-up, whether in the New York area or beyond, what
anywhere.
Would they be? Yeah.
I would say from the 2 years that I've been doing it, what I've learned would be you shouldn't look down. Never look down. That's not good. They always say move the microphone out of the way. That's always a given to do. And just engage the audience. Like, even if you're just keep on talking. If you're new at this, just keep on throwing stuff out there. But there are times where there's some rooms that I feel so comfortable in that I have a joke.
You'll fart.
Yeah, whatever. Right. You won't even hear it anyway. There's a microphone right in front of me. I could just rip gas all day and night. Nobody cares. But if you just engage the audience with like a premise, you'll sometimes find your punch. And that's what makes it work. And that's what makes it... but if you're just like distant and kind of like in reserve to yourself, looking down, looking around, then it's going to make it infinitely more difficult. So that's my main tip.
So then, Guys from Queens?
Guys from Queens is the network that I work out of, that I do the show, one of the shows on. I do a show with them, the Andrew Zarian Show.
But that's what you're doing here, right?
That's what I'm doing here. And then I'm also just on the side promoting my stand-up as well. So you could catch me, like I do probably like 1 to 2 shows a month. And then I'm doing that, and then just a bunch of open mics right now because, when you're starting out, that's what you got to do to hone your craft.
So are you using like blogs and new media, social media to kind of get the word out about what
right now? Yeah, it's primarily Facebook. I'm getting my website up, and then once I get this video, I'm going to start spreading that around and just kind of using that to get the word out. I mean, for comics, you can do there's several different avenues you can explore. I'd like to have just a good video. You use that. That's sort of like your resume.
Right,
you start
to, it absolutely
spread that around. People are like, all right, then this is what I want to see. Like, I've talked to a few people here, and they're like, oh, I really want to see a video. So, YouTube and Facebook are a great way to just get the word out. Twitter is always good. Like if you got like little small one-liners you want to toss out there, then go for it. So I think that's the best way to do it.
So where do you see yourself 3 years from now? You hope to stay on the stand-up circuit?
Yeah, no, I've done like several different things. Like I did sketch for a while, and I did, I was doing a little bit of improv, but I always came back to stand-up because it was just like, this is when I started doing it. I'm like, this is what I want to do. I came back and I was just like, all right, I did a set at an open mic, 0 laughs. Like absolute, like I remember one person, the only response when I was listening back to the tape was some person coughing. They're having a coughing fit completely unrelated to my joke. And I'm like, this is what I want to do. I enjoy this.
Why? What brings you pleasure from knowing that nobody's paying attention?
I don't know, because it's that need to just kind of, you wanna make them laugh. When you have that need, that desire to make people laugh, it just kind of, it never goes away. You could do other stuff, but I think that you're always going to come back to it. Some people have compared stand-up to heroin, and I don't know what that's about.
Well, I didn't want to say anything, but you did look a little...
I look a little strung out, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything again. I'm glad you brought it up.
I just came out of the bathroom and I came here, and I was like, hey, let's do an interview.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, wow.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Crazy. It's real good. So...
You do that a little too well. Is that what pulled you into that world?
It was just like, listen, the needle or the mic, and I chose the mic, and
But you could have been a DJ and had both, kind of like did they still use real? Right?
I chose the wrong thing, didn't I?
Probably not. You probably chose the right thing. But what?
No.
Did you go to school for anything? I assume you took some kind of class.
I did take a stand-up class like years ago, and it was helpful in the basics. But if you go to anyone who does, I encourage people to try stand-up comedy. I don't encourage them to stick with it, because it's just, like you go there and you do it, and it's night after night of not getting anything, and it's pretty painful, but...
So how, you may know the numbers better than I do, in terms of how many stand-up comics are out there, you hear about the ones who are like runaway successes.
Of course.
I'd assume those are just a very, 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 very small subset of this much larger set.
Oh, it's probably like what, 0.5%, or like the
that's small.
Yeah,
wow.
the guys who are actually making like TV credits and that kind of stuff. But then there's a whole subculture of like comics who have no TV credits. We had right here, I think it was Jordan Cooper was giving a presentation. That guy's a comic for like 15 years. I didn't hear about him until recently, and it was just like, wow. But this guy, he goes around, he does shows, and he uses social networking to gets it all out there, and he does that. But there's a whole set of comics, road comics, you'll never ever hear of. If you ever go to a comedy club, besides the headliner, how many of those comics do you know?
Right, exactly.
None of them.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. It's one out of, let's say, 12 comics that you actually, and that's the person you went to see. For the most part, most of the nights, the nights, the off nights, the weeknights, other than Friday and Saturday, Sunday through Thursday, most of those comics, you have no idea who they are.
Wow.
And that's how it is. And some people will make 6 figures a year doing that.
Wow, that's a pretty healthy living.
Of course, I know comics who this guy was doing. I saw him doing mics here and there. When business was really good before the recession, this guy was doing corporate shows, and he was raking it in 6 figures. And doing all over the U.S.
Wow.
But, it comes and goes. It comes in waves. How do you stay relevant? How do you stay on top of things? It's about keeping fresh. And, with anything in the media, it's about keeping fresh, keeping new, revitalizing. Everyone's had to do it in some form. George Carlin, had to do it. Like, he went from very clean to very dirty. 7 dirty words, what he's known for. So everyone has that.
Wasn't it Lenny Bruce was his primary inspiration?
Yeah, Lenny Bruce was primary inspiration, and it was just like, and he started to see things differently. He's just like, wait, I'm not agreeing, with the squeaky clean way things are done, and that wasn't really his lifestyle either. And then you start to tap into that. And I think just being honest really helps with stand-up or with anything that you do in your life.
Yeah, that's how I was on a panel yesterday, and we were talking about the gamification of the internet and game mechanics, and I found myself not exactly agreeing with the panelists. I mean, I could have agreed,
of course.
But I decided to play devil's advocate. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, let's be the voice of dissension and say, what's this, what's that, what's the other thing? Yeah. Because ultimately, it's standing out that's going to make more of a mark with people. You find that with stand-up, assumedly.
Oh yeah, totally. A friend of mine actually, he runs like a blog that kind of like promotes uses psychology and marketing, and one of the biggest things people say is content is king.
Oh yeah,
that's and he has a totally different spin on it. He's like, it's not content in a way. Like he takes a whole different approach. And I think once you start to do that, you separate yourself from the pack, and with that you'll be noticed. So
All right. Well, good luck with your endeavors.
Yeah, totally.
I'll have to catch the YouTube video or whatever video gets posted, and then when you start starring in your own series on some channel, I'm like, I know that guy, kind of.
Yeah, we did a 10-minute interview. He was strung out on heroin.
He'll never remember me or this. He'll keep I'll get a cease and desist. Please take the video down.
Yeah, right. My people will contact.
Dude, it's happened before. I've done
really.
No, I mean, not like I've interviewed stand-ups comics who went on, but like where I'll record a video and then years later they ask like, could you please take this down? I'm like,
well, what did they say that was so controversial?
You'd be surprised. Like they said one thing that their current employer doesn't like, or they're in the job market. They say something they don't want to be misconstrued. Yeah. Unfortunately, I've never been as lucky because I just put everything out there. Damn the torpedoes.
As long as I don't like appear douchey, that's all. I think that's strung out. I'm okay with it.
No. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. So anyway, we have the Aurora.
Canal Aurora.
Canal.
Yeah. Canal. I'm going to give you my business card. I'm actually going to. Yeah, I'm going to do that right now, actually.
Oh, wow.
You're going to enjoy this business card.
Why am I'm going to enjoy it? I've never in my entire life enjoyed a business card.
Here you go.
Now, why am I enjoying this?
There we go.
You did not write funnier than Bin Laden.
Yes, I did. Never. You know what the thing is? I bought the cards before he was killed.
So now it's even funnier.
Now it's even funnier.
Wow.
I've got 200 of these. It's I don't know what to do with them.
This business card is actually appreciated in value from the time of its printing. Okay, so it's Kunal Aurora.
Yeah.
You're probably used to saying it. Just rattle it off.
Of course.
I had to say it for the audience as well as the producer who's going to clip the video and get it out there.
Cool.
Thank you for sitting down and talk stand-up.
Totally.